All right, good morning. I have 10:30 a.m., so we'll go ahead and get started. My name is Jason Runyon. I'm a lead forecaster with the National Weather Service Austin San Antonio Forecast Office. As a reminder, this briefing is being recorded, and a copy of the slides along with a link to the recording will be emailed out shortly afterwards to those that are on our partners list. If you have been attending these conference calls and have not been receiving the copy of the recordings and the slides, it's likely that you're not on our partner list. However, there is some options for you to download the briefings from our website at weather.gov/San Antonio. If you go to that website and look under the news headlines at the very top, you'll see a link for the latest briefing. Currently, the latest briefing up there is from yesterday afternoon, but shortly after this call is over, I'll upload this briefing. So this is the 10:30 a.m. Saturday, April 6th decision support briefing for the total eclipse. Some important updates since our last briefing. There's a medium to high confidence in the cloud cover now and precipitation chances on Eclipse Day Monday. And the severe weather risks have increased late Monday and also on Tuesday. We'll get into both of those here shortly. Just a recap of the schedule of our Eclipse briefings. We'll be hosting another briefing this afternoon at 2:30 p.m., two additional briefings on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m., and our final briefing at 9 a.m. on Eclipse Day on Monday. So the main weather headlines. We do have a high confidence in the forecast over the weekend. If you've stepped outside, you've noticed it's probably cloudy this morning, and there's some patchy drizzle occurring along the I-35 corridor. We could see some weak showers, some stray weak showers this afternoon east of the I-35 corridor. And then we're highly confident that a weak cold front will move through the region late tonight and into early Sunday morning. Our confidence level continues to increase for the forecast on Monday. We're now at a medium to high confidence level that we'll see mostly cloudy conditions across south central Texas during the day on Monday, along with some chances for some showers and low chances for some isolated thunderstorms. There's still some uncertainty on if and where any breaks in the low cloud cover will occur, as well as the thickness of the high cloud cover on Monday. We'll start seeing some more clarity in the upcoming forecast starting late tonight and into tomorrow as some of our high resolution models start to capture what's going to occur on Monday. And then some potential egress issues for Tuesday and Tuesday night in the form of thunderstorm chances and severe weather. And we'll get into that here shortly. So the pattern shift has taken place, and if you haven't stepped outside, we are now cloudy across all of south central Texas this morning, and the humidity has increased. We've seen some patchy drizzle develop through the hill country and I-35 corridor this morning. We'll start to see some erosion of the low-level clouds, especially out west late this morning, and then possibly into the I-35 corridor and coastal plains this afternoon. But generally, mostly cloudy with some high cirrus still streaming through the region. High temperatures today in the low 90s out along the Rio Grande, where the clouds do clear, and the upper 70s to mid 80s elsewhere today. We do expect that weak cold front to approach late this evening out west and through the overnight hours for other areas tonight. There is a low chance, about a 10 to 15% chance of some stray showers along that front across the hill country, I-35 corridor, and coastal plains late tonight and into early Sunday morning. As far as the weather forecast for Sunday, that front is expected to clear into the coastal plains and stall somewhere in the coastal plains during the morning hours on Sunday. That will allow some dry air to temporarily move into south central Texas along the I-35 corridor and westward during the day on Sunday. So you should see the low clouds kind of scatter out through the morning and lower humidity tomorrow during the day. High temperatures tomorrow are forecast to be in the 80s. Now, as far as the forecast goes on Monday, we expect that stalled front to lift back north through the region late Sunday night and into Monday morning. That's going to bring a return of humidity and moisture to the area in the form of some low cloud cover and potentially some patchy drizzle and isolated showers by Monday morning. By eclipse peak time in the early afternoon, some scattering out of the low clouds is possible along the Rio Grande, and some patchy breaks in the low clouds are possible elsewhere. Again, some isolated morning showers are possible. In the afternoon hours, we could see some scattered afternoon showers and potentially some isolated storms after the eclipse. As I mentioned, some additional refinement to the forecast is expected tonight and into tomorrow as our high resolution models start to capture the Monday timeframe. As far as the temperatures go on Eclipse Day Monday, our low temperature forecast is currently calling for lows in the upper 50s to mid 60s and highs on Monday afternoon in the upper 70s to near 90 along the Rio Grande. I should point out that if the clouds just kind of remain overcast through the region, and the low temperatures might be a couple degrees warmer than what you see here, and the high temperatures a couple degrees cooler. Also of note, we've been talking about that temporary drop in the temperatures during the eclipse totality. With the additional cloud cover in the area, we might not get the 5 to 10 degree drop that we were expecting. It might be closer to 3 to 5 degrees, maybe 6 or 7 along the Rio Grande, where the low clouds do scatter out. Rain chances on Monday will range from 10 to 30% out across our western areas, up to 50 to 70% in our central and eastern areas. As far as the coverage I mentioned earlier, it's mainly going to be kind of isolated coverage of showers in the morning hours, then some scattered coverage of showers, mainly across the eastern half of the area during the afternoon, and some isolated thunderstorms possible after the eclipse window. As far as rainfall amounts go, the rainfall amounts appear low at this time, a few hundredths of an inch to at most a couple tenths of an inch of rainfall. Now, as far as our severe weather chances on Monday, severe weather chances you see here on the left image. On the right image is excessive rainfall outlooks from our national centers. The severe weather outlook has increased across our area from our Storm Prediction Center, now calling for a level 2 out of 5 risk for severe storms over portions of the hill country, I-35 corridor, and eastward. I should note that this is a very low confidence in these outlooks. It may be slightly aggressive this far south into south central Texas. I wouldn't be surprised if this is trimmed back a little bit as we get closer to Monday. And again, the isolated storms would be primarily after the eclipse. But if we were to see any severe storms, the main threats would be large hail and, of course, any cloud to ground lightning. We've thrown this in there just to kind of show kind of the low cloud potential on Monday. What you're seeing here, anything kind of imaged in yellow to pink would be kind of a risk for low clouds, especially in the morning hours around 10 a.m. It could be kind of overcast, low clouds anywhere you see those yellow to pink colors, including most of the totality window there through the hill country and into the Rio Grande. By early afternoon, I mentioned there could be some breaks in the low cloud cover. It would be patchy breaks at best to the hill country and I-35 corridor, but there could be some scouring out of the low level clouds along the Rio Grande. So there's a pretty high confidence Monday morning that we'll see low morning stratus clouds in place across the entire region. But by the eclipse peak, there could be some scattering out of the low level clouds along the Rio Grande. We've been mentioning this for several days now. We're very, very confident in the upper level pattern with the upper level low out of the southwest US that will bring in upper level moisture across Mexico and into south central Texas in the form of some high cirrus. We're very confident that that cirrus is going to be in place. How translucent the high cirrus is still in question. So if there are breaks in the low level cloud cover, if it's thin enough cirrus, you might see some filtered viewability, especially out along the Rio Grande, where the breaks in the low level clouds are expected. However, if the high clouds end up being a little bit thicker, then it still would result in poor viewability of the eclipse. Here's our cloud cover forecast in the early afternoon for the eclipse window. On the left there is our official forecast showing mostly cloudy conditions across most of the path of totality. On the right there is our worst case. Of course, if the low level clouds just don't break and the high cirrus is a little bit thicker, then it would just be mainly overcast across most of the region. And we've included these the past several days of just some examples of what it could look like. Again, if you see the breaks in the low level clouds, especially out west, and the cirrus is thin enough, then something on the left might be something you could potentially see some filtered eclipse viewability. If the high clouds end up being thicker, something kind of in the middle there. And if the low level clouds just don't break, then the image there on the right would be something that you would see. And then beyond Monday, we're getting to get a little bit better confidence now that we're going to see this active pattern develop on Monday and Monday night with the approach of the next upper level system and cold front from the west. That should lead to a chance for some showers and storms. That the confidence in the timing Tuesday into Tuesday night is pretty low, but the confidence is slightly increasing that we'll see some storms and potentially some severe storms somewhere across south central Texas Tuesday and Tuesday night. And in fact, our Storm Prediction Center there on the left has increased the aerial coverage of the severe weather risk for Tuesday and Tuesday night, now calling for what will eventually become a level 2 out of 5 risk for much of the hill country, I-35 corridor, and coastal plains on Tuesday and Tuesday night. And the Weather Prediction Center has increased their aerial threat for what will be a level 1 out of 4 risk for some excessive rainfall. So again, our confidence is increasing in storms, potentially severe storms sometime Tuesday and Tuesday night, but we're kind of low on the confidence on exactly when the window would be. If we do see any severe storms, the main threat will be large hail, of course, cloud to ground lightning in some pockets of heavier rainfall. Finally, we just want to leave you with some resources. We've been pointing out these resources the past couple of webinars. Our hourly weather forecasts are available online at weather.gov/forecast points. Just note that if you go to that page, initially it will center over Duluth, Minnesota, but you can move the map around and zoom in and click on anywhere in the US and get a 7-day forecast, hourly forecast out to 7 days of many different weather elements. We've set up some quick QR codes for our region to get to different locations. Here are the western areas of our forecast areas, the Hill Country area, and the I-35 corridor area. All these QR codes will be provided in the PDF that we send out by email and upload to our website. Finally, our satellite and radar resources. Here are the QR codes for those 2 resources. And again, these will be provided in the PDF copy that we send out. So just to summarize, highly confident in the forecast this weekend. Some possible stray showers along the front late tonight and into early Sunday morning across the Hill Country, I-35 corridor and eastward. Mostly cloudy conditions on Eclipse Day with about a 20% chance of rain across western areas, all the way up to a 70% chance of rain across eastern areas. Mainly starting out as isolated coverage in the morning, then scattered coverage across eastern areas, central and eastern areas in the afternoon. Perhaps some isolated coverage of storms after the eclipse window in the late afternoon and evening hours. We're still kind of uncertain where exactly the local level clouds may break at eclipse time and how translucent the high clouds may be, but overall a mostly cloudy scenario across south central Texas during the early afternoon on Monday, with some final refinement to the forecast coming tomorrow. And then, as we've mentioned, some potential egress issues on Tuesday and Tuesday night with the potential for storms, some of which could become severe. And finally, our confidence level, again, I've mentioned this, our weekend forecast, highly confident in what's happening today and tomorrow. As far as the cloud cover and precipitation chances on the eclipse day, that is increasing now to a medium to high confidence level. Severe storm chances Monday afternoon and Monday night, very low confidence level. And then the severe storm chances Tuesday and Tuesday night beginning to increase, now at a low to medium confidence level. So with that, just some contact information here and our schedule of our remaining briefings. We'll have one more briefing this afternoon at 10:30, and again tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. in our final briefing at 9 a.m. on Monday. So I'll pause here for any questions you may have. If you have any questions, you can use the questions box in the GoToWebinar GUI there, and I'll pause here for any questions you may have. First question, still low confidence for lightning in central Texas during the eclipse period on Monday. Yes, Billy, pretty low confidence during that noon to 2 p.m., 3 p.m. time range. I would put the lightning threat more at like the 10 to 20% range during that, increasing after the eclipse. Any additional questions? I'll give it about another 30 seconds here. All right, seeing no additional questions, we'll go ahead and end it here. Thanks for your time this morning. And again, we'll see you either this afternoon at 2:30 or for our next briefing tomorrow morning. Thank you and have a good day.